My panda, my choice. Disney has officially lost their minds. Hey everyone, this is Kristan Hawkins. Welcome to this How to Win This Week episode on the Explicitly Pro-Life podcast. I wrote an op-ed for Fox News and have done some TV interviews recently about Disney's Turning Red movie. It's a short film. Well, I guess it's not really short. It's pretty long. I watched it, sadly, on Disney Plus of about a 13-year-old girl, May, and this coming-of-age story that she turns into a panda when she experiences strong emotions, which, I have a 13-year-old now. They experience strong emotions all the time. Yes, I am a mother of a teenager. Please send prayers. But what's interesting about this movie, and to be honest with you, I don't watch Disney Plus on a regular basis. My family are big fans of classic Disney. We love classic Disney, the world that Walt Disney built. But we really don't pay much attention to the new stuff coming out of Disney. Even the new movies. There was that Encanto. I don't think my daughter even saw Encanto. We watched Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and things like that. But it's not a great film, and I think it's a very good wake-up call. This Red Panda Turning Red movie, I think it's important for parents to realize that you're going to have to screen even the content that's coming from Disney Plus before your children watch them. This is very interesting because it's almost like Disney didn't learn the lessons of New Coke. I don't know if you all remember when Coca-Cola came out with New Coke back in the day. I remember I was a child with New Coke, and it was like this huge flop. No one liked it. It was one of the largest marketing flops in recent memory. Kind of feels like that. Like Disney hasn't really learned that lesson. And so now they're like new Disney, new and improved Disney. And, you can look at the Turning Red movie and say, well, yes, May says my panda, my choice, which is obviously a nod to my body, my choice rhetoric. Yes, she's twerking and, crushing on a 17-year-old boy as a 13-year-old. And yes, there's some themes that we don't appreciate. If you just looked at that, I think a lot of parents would sort of look the other way or say, maybe we're just not going to watch that movie. But then coupled with Disney's own internal Zoom call that was just released talking about Florida's sex education bill, how they're up in arms that people can't talk to kindergarten through third graders about sex. I mean, what type of people want to talk to kindergartners through third graders about sex? I think that's fundamentally the question that should be asked here. But they had this whole Zoom call with their employees about what it means when you can't talk to kindergartens to third graders about sex and how it's so harmful for society. They had Disney creators get on this Zoom call, openly say that they are trying to insert the LGBTQ agenda into as many Disney movies as possible. And it's very, as a parent, shocking because, we, especially my family, we grew up with old Disney. We loved old Disney. My kids love old Disney. And then to see these Disney World and Disney employees, these executives, clearly stating how all the different ways they're transforming their business model and what they're doing to insert this very liberal agenda into their movies. I think it's very shocking. It's maddening. It's crazy when you think about the world Walt Disney, said he was creating. There's a quote from Walt Disney. It says, "I do not make films primarily for children. I make them for the child in all of us, whether we be 6 or 60. Call it childhood innocence. The worst of us is not without innocence, although deeply buried it might be. In my work, I try to reach and speak to that innocence, showing it the fun and joy of living, showing it that laughter is healthy, showing it that the human species, although happily ridiculous at times, is still reaching for the stars." That's old Disney. This is certainly not new Disney. And it's scary that new Disney is so closely aligning itself with Planned Parenthood, Planned Parenthood's agenda, instead of being interested in being a guardian of innocence of childhood by their own admission. They're actively, pushing kids out of Neverland and directly into an adult sexualized world where they can be groomed for others' enjoyment, and where, of course, they're going to end up in walking into the doors of those who prey upon their crisis, Planned Parenthood. I mean, this is setting them up to be customers of what big abortion and the big abortion industry has to sell. And I think it's shocking for all of us. And it's a very good, I think, word of caution to parents about saying goodbye to new Disney, guarding the content that your children are consuming, even if it's on Disney Plus. Just because it says Disney now does not mean it's safe.